From luxury yachts to jets and jewelry, rich people are known to buy and own the most luxurious things money can buy. But what if I told you there's one particular asset that many rich people are actively avoiding? An increasing number of rich people are opting to rent homes rather than buy them outright, despite having the funds to purchase these properties. What could explain this seemingly counterintuitive and unusual behavior? That is what we will be talking about in this video. You'd better stick around because right at the end, we will be sharing with you what valuable financial lessons you learn from this. 1. The myth of home ownership for wealth creation. All right, let's address one of the biggest, most deeply ingrained beliefs in our society. The idea that owning your home is the absolute best way to build wealth. For generations, we've been told, almost as a sacred truth, that buying a house is the pinnacle of financial success. It's the American dream, the ultimate sign of stability and the bedrock of a secure future. You buy, the value goes up, you build equity, and eventually you sell for a tidy profit or live mortgage-free in retirement. Sounds perfect, right? It's the common narrative, the financial dogma we've all grown up with. But what if I told you that that narrative, while true for some and certainly a viable path for many, isn't necessarily the optimal path for the truly wealthy, especially those who've already accumulated significant capital? In fact, for the ultra-rich, tying up vast sums of money in a primary residence can actually be seen as a missed opportunity, a financial drag, not a driver of wealth. Let's break down this myth, specifically from the perspective of the rich. The first major point is opportunity cost. When you pour millions into a down payment, mortgage payments, and home maintenance, that's capital that's not working for you elsewhere. Imagine taking that $1 million down payment, or even the cumulative tens of thousands you'd spend annually on property taxes and upkeep, and instead investing it into a diversified portfolio of stocks, high-yield bonds, or even another income-generating real estate venture, a commercial property, for instance. Over 10, 20, or 30 years, the compounded returns on that invested capital could far outstrip the appreciation of a single primary residence. For the rich, every dollar has a job, and its job is to make more dollars. A non-income generating asset like a primary home often underperforms against other investment vehicles they have access to. The rich also consider the true costs of ownership, which are often severely underestimated by the average homeowner. Beyond the monthly mortgage payment, which itself is a hefty sum, think about the considerable property taxes that can rise unpredictably, ongoing maintenance and repairs such as a new roof, HVAC system, plumbing issues, landscaping, pest control. These are often unexpected and expensive. Don't forget homeowners insurance either, potentially flood or earthquake insurance depending on location, and if you're in a condo or planned community, significant HOA fees. And what about renovations? While they might make your home nicer, they rarely recoup 100% of their cost when you sell. For the wealthy, who analyze every expenditure with a keen eye for return on investment, these predictable yet often unpredictable costs of home ownership are simply expenses, wasting capital without generating a corresponding income stream. They view their homes not as a true asset that puts money in their pocket, but rather as a significant, illiquid expense that demands constant outflow. This fundamental shift in perspective is key to understanding why they often choose to rent. 2. Financial freedom. Renting as a strategic investment tool. Now let's talk about the biggest concern for the wealthy, financial freedom. For them, renting isn't about saving a few bucks on a mortgage. It's a powerful, strategic investment tool. It all comes down to how they choose to allocate their capital. Think about it. The truly rich are constantly looking for the best return on their money. For most of us, a home is the biggest investment we'll ever make. But for the wealthy, capital tied up in a primary residence, especially one that doesn't generate income, represents a massive opportunity cost. That $1 million you might put into a down payment for a luxury home, or the hundreds of thousands spent over the years on maintenance and property taxes, could instead be generating significant returns elsewhere. We're talking about deploying that capital into businesses, high-growth stocks, private equity, or even income-generating real estate like apartment buildings or commercial properties. These are assets that put money into their pockets, not take it out. The difference in potential returns over decades can be astronomical, far outstripping the typical appreciation of a residential home. Another critical factor is liquidity. A house is an incredibly illiquid asset. If you need cash, selling a house can take months, sometimes longer, and it comes with substantial transaction costs. Think real estate agent commissions, closing fees, and other expenses that eat into any profit. Rich people need their capital to be agile and accessible. They want to be able to seize new opportunities the moment they arise. Having millions locked up in a house makes it that much harder. Renting allows them to keep their vast sums of money highly liquid, ready to be deployed wherever the next big investment opportunity appears, be it a disruptive tech startup or an undervalued global asset. There's also the question of predictable expenses versus unpredictable costs. When you rent, your monthly payment is largely fixed. You know exactly what you're paying for housing each month. This makes budgeting and long-term financial planning incredibly straightforward for someone managing vast amounts of wealth. Now compare that to home ownership. Even with a fixed mortgage, you're constantly exposed to unpredictable and often massive expenses. A new roof, a faulty HVAC system, unexpected plumbing emergencies, or even a sudden spike in property taxes. These can appear out of nowhere and cost tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of dollars. For the wealthy, this uncertainty is an unnecessary headache and a drain on capital that could be generating returns. The landlord, not they, bears all that financial risk and responsibility. Most people forget tax implications, not the rich. While historically there were significant tax benefits to home ownership, recent changes, particularly limitations on state and local tax, SALT deductions, have lessened these advantages for high-income earners. The wealthy are very aware that these deductions might not apply as effectively to their income bracket. Instead, by renting, they free up capital that can be invested in entities or assets that do offer significant tax advantages. Think about owning income-generating rental properties where depreciation can offset income, or business investments that allow for various write-offs. This strategic redirection of capital for maximum tax efficiency is a hallmark of how the rich manage their money. If they don't own their primary residence, they also avoid the complexities and potential capital gains taxes associated with selling a highly appreciated home down the line. Ultimately, renting provides a level of financial agility and control that home ownership often cannot. It's about minimizing liabilities and maximizing the potential of every dollar to grow. They're not just avoiding the trouble. They're making a deliberate choice to keep their wealth working harder and smarter, rather than sitting idly in an illiquid asset. There's a mental aspect to this strategy too, and we'll be discussing that next. So if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss any of our new videos. Now, back to the video. 3. Lifestyle and flexibility. The rich prefer unburdened living. Beyond the purely financial calculations, there's another massive reason why the rich often prefer to rent. It gives them an unparalleled level of freedom and flexibility. For them, time is the ultimate luxury, and they're not about to spend it stressing over home ownership headaches. One of the biggest advantages of renting is mobility. Wealthy individuals are often global citizens. Their careers might demand frequent relocation, or they might simply choose to split their time between different cities or even continents. Owning a massive home, or multiple homes, severely restricts this. Imagine trying to sell a multi-million-dollar property every time a new business opportunity pops up in a different country, or every time you decide you want to spend a year living in Monaco and enjoying the tax haven's benefits. Moving around can be a huge, time-consuming, and expensive ordeal if you own a large home. Renting, however, allows them to pack up and move with incredible speed and efficiency. They can rent a luxury apartment in New York for 6 months, then a sprawling villa in the south of France for a year, and then a penthouse in Dubai, all without the burden of buying and selling. This kind of geographical agility is priceless in their world. Then there's the sheer freedom from maintenance and management. For most homeowners, a weekend often means tackling chores, mowing the lawn, cleaning gutters, fixing a leaky faucet, or calling a contractor for a major repair. For the wealthy, their time is measured in opportunities, not yard work. They don't want to spend their precious hours coordinating plumbers, electricians, or landscapers. They certainly don't want to worry about a burst pipe while they're on a private jet to a business meeting in Tokyo. When you rent a high-end property, all of that responsibility falls squarely on the landlord or property management. This translates into immense peace of mind and allows them to focus on what truly matters to them, such as their investments, their businesses, their passions, or their philanthropy. There's also a certain luxury experience that often comes with high-end rentals. Many wealthy individuals opt for serviced apartments or residences that offer hotel-like amenities. Think private gyms, swimming pools, concierges who handle everything from dry cleaning to dinner reservations, in-house maintenance teams, and even regular cleaning services. They get to enjoy a resort-like living experience without the capital outlay, the property taxes, or the maintenance headaches of owning such a facility themselves. It means elite convenience and comfort for the small price of a predictable monthly payment. As people age, especially after 50, their lifestyle needs often change dramatically. The kids might have left home, leaving the big family home feeling empty. Instead of dealing with the emotional and logistical challenge of selling a long-held family home, then finding and purchasing a smaller one, wealthy renters can simply adjust their lease or find a new, smaller luxury rental that perfectly suits their evolving needs. This flexibility means they can effortlessly transition to a chic city apartment, a quiet lakeside cottage, or even a series of international rentals as their post-50 adventures unfold. They aren't tied down by an asset that no longer serves their lifestyle. Fourth, psychological and philosophical aspects of renting for the wealthy. Aside from the cash calculations, older rich people's choice to rent is tied to their mindset about wealth itself. Wealth is what you keep, not just what you earn. This is a core principle of true wealth creation, which many rich people believe in. For the rich, an expensive home, while seemingly a valuable asset on paper, can actually be viewed as a significant liability if it's not generating income. It's a huge bucket that money flows into. Think mortgage, taxes, maintenance, rather than flowing out of. Their financial philosophy prioritizes assets that actively work for them, building more capital, not simply sitting there appreciating, hopefully, while costing a fortune to maintain. They understand that a home, for living in, is primarily a consumption item, an expense, not a productive investment that contributes to their compounding wealth. Moreover, many people try to show their status by owning the biggest house in the most exclusive neighborhood, but for a growing number of the truly rich, especially those who earn their wealth through innovation or astute investing, true status isn't about conspicuous consumption of a single property. Instead, they prefer freedom, optionality, and financial agility. Their display of wealth might be through global travel, strategic philanthropic endeavors, groundbreaking business ventures, or simply the quiet confidence of knowing their capital is perfectly optimized. They don't need a massive owned home to validate their success. Their expansive investment portfolios and free lifestyles do that perfectly well. Finally, there's a psychological detachment that comes with renting. While most people form deep emotional connections to their homes, for the wealthy, the decision about their primary residence is often a purely rational financial calculation. Renting helps to minimize emotional attachment to a physical structure. This allows them to make clear-headed decisions based solely on what serves their financial and lifestyle goals best at any given moment. It's not about being cold or uncaring, but about applying the same rigorous, strategic thinking to their personal living situation as they would to any multi-million-dollar business acquisition. This smart money mindset means they are always optimizing, always seeking the most efficient path, and always ensuring their resources are directed where they can yield the greatest return and flexibility. Fifth, case studies. Examples. This isn't just a concept. Many rich folks live like this in the real world. There are reports of prominent figures in the business world selling off grand estates to embrace rental or minimalist living, focusing entirely on their core ventures. It's not uncommon to hear about highly successful individuals, including tech titans and investment moguls, choosing to reside in high-end rental properties or luxury serviced apartments in major global hubs like New York, London, or Dubai, rather than owning vast, single-family homes. A good example is Elon Musk, who, in 2020, publicly announced he was selling nearly all his physical possessions, including his multiple California mansions, to focus on his ventures like Tesla and SpaceX. The billionaire stated that he will own no home. While Musk has not explicitly confirmed rumors of renting a lavish penthouse, reports indicate he lived in a modest prefabricated home in Texas valued at around $50,000, though he could easily afford luxury homes. Rather than tying up hundreds of millions in luxury properties, Musk keeps his capital liquid for reinvestment. There's also the example of Warren Buffett, who famously lives in a modest Omaha home purchased in 1958 for $31,500, worth about $315,000 today, avoiding lavish personal real estate to keep his wealth in Berkshire Hathaway stock. 6. Can you apply this mindset? Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great for billionaires, but I'm not a billionaire, and you'd be absolutely right. The reality is, most of us aren't operating with millions in liquid capital, and for many people, especially in the middle class, home ownership remains a significant and effective path to building wealth. It forces savings, provides a stable living environment, and builds equity over time, which can be a fantastic asset in retirement. The wealthy's approach isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, and it might not be the right fit for everyone. However, there are incredibly powerful key takeaways from the rich person's renting mindset that anyone can apply to their own financial strategy, regardless of their income bracket. First, understand opportunity cost. Even if you plan to buy a home, seriously consider what else your down payment, property taxes, and ongoing maintenance costs could be doing for you. Could a portion of that money generate higher returns elsewhere? It's a vital question. Second, prioritize liquidity. Don't tie up all your capital in your home. Having a robust emergency fund and diversified investments outside your primary residence ensures you have access to funds when opportunities arise or emergencies strike. Third, value flexibility. Life changes, careers evolve, and sometimes geographic mobility is a huge advantage. If your career or personal circumstances demand frequent moves, or if you simply prefer the freedom to live anywhere, renting might actually be the smarter, less stressful short-term choice. Fourth, focus on income-generating assets. Whether you choose to own or rent your primary residence, make it a priority to invest in assets that actively grow your wealth and generate income. Think stocks, bonds, or even a small rental property that isn't your main home. This is where true wealth accumulation happens. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, don't let emotions drive big financial decisions. While a home can hold immense sentimental value, try to separate that emotion from the pure financial calculation when deciding to buy or rent. Evaluate the numbers, consider your long-term goals, and make the decision that best serves your financial future, just like the wealthy do. To conclude, ultimately, for the rich, the decision to rent is a deliberate choice for an unburdened life. The rich prioritize time and try to maximize flexibility while outsourcing the less important responsibilities of property ownership. This allows them to allocate their mental and physical energy and their significant capital to pursuits that bring them greater joy, more wealth, or deeper personal satisfaction, free from the shackles of a fixed address. It's the ultimate expression of living life on their own terms. So, before you chase the traditional dream of home ownership, pause and consider the hidden strategies of the super wealthy. Could rethinking your housing situation unlock more financial freedom, more flexibility, and more lucrative opportunities for you? We want to hear your thoughts. Let us know your perspective in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable and insightful, don't forget to hit that like button. Share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the principles of building and managing lasting wealth. See you in the next one.